Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Iyun with Benzion. Tonight we're going to be analyzing Nedarim Daf and Gimel 53. I'll talk a very interesting Gemara over here, uh, intriguing Gemara. The Gemara says, if you take a neder from shemen, from oil, right? There's different types of oils. If you go to the store, you have, the expensive oil is the olive oil. Speaking of Hanukkah, olive oil. A lot of people actually use olive oil to cook with or to put in their salads. It's very expensive, olive oil. More commonly, people use canola oil. Some people use sesame seed oil, vegetable oils. Those are cheaper oils. So if you take another just saying shemen, what do you usher? So the Gemara says if you're a place where the shemen means shemen zayis, you only usher shemen zayis. You're not ushering canola oil. If it's a place where it means canola oil, you only use canola oil. So then you're mutter in shemen zayis. And the Gemara says makom shemen stakim means a place where they use both, so you usher on any type of shemen that's used. So the Gemara says pshita, that's obvious. So shricha the ruba minchad nestapke, a place where most people, when they have oil, and I think this is true for most people, when they cook with oil, they don't cook with olive oil. Most people, it's very expensive to cook with olive oil. They cook with canola oil or sesame seed oil. That's commonly. You might think you have to rove. Rove people use canola oil. Shemen zayis shouldn't be usher. No, it's called a place where they use both. Now, and therefore shemen zayis is also usher. Now, the question obviously is, if it's a rove, right? Most of this place, most of Telstone, the place where I live, where there's 6,000 people here approximately, most people use canola oil for cooking. Very few people use olive oil, but there is, some nicest houses up the hill here. Some richer people. Maybe they use olive oil. It's definitely sold in the store. You can buy olive oil. And if you don't buy olive oil, you can actually take olive oil from your neighbor's Hanukkah tomorrow night, because a lot of people are makbid on this new chumrah. When I was around and I was doing all the chumras when I was younger, they didn't have this chumrah. Nowadays, everyone's makbid on this chumrah here, at least in the Haredi world, to use olive oil that's not only royal achila, but is extra virgin. It's like the best. It's better than you don't even use it for cooking. You only use it for neighbor's Hanukkah. They use extra virgin olive oil. Not only good for achila, it's good for, I don't know. The only thing is you don't even use it for it, right? So anyway, olive oil can be consumed. Most people would not consume it because it's too expensive. It's very expensive olive oil to cook with. Much more expensive than canola oil. Could be 8 times the price. So I think Telstone qualifies as a place where both things are used. So the question is that usually when you say rove answers your suffix. I have a suffix. Rove tells me, no, you don't go. It's not a suffix anymore. When I have Achar Rab Lahatos, right, I have 23 judges and 12 of them acquit, and 11 say he's chayav to pay money. So in that case, the 12 judges, or it's chayav misa, the 12 judges win. 12 to 11. The majority decide. It's not a suffix anymore, right? And rove, we know for sure that it works by Yisurim. If it works by Dini Nefashos, Dini Lamed, it shouldn't work by Yisurim. And any rove, whether it's Ruba the Isakon or the Lesikon, it's at least an 80% proof. So rove always, answers the suffix. So what is the Gemara saying over here? Even though I have rove, you still factor in the suffix and do suffix Yisur l'chumra and Asr, both of them. So therefore, I'd like to suggest over here that it's talking about specifically a place like Telstone, where, we always go, what type of place is considered a place? We talk about a lot of this Gemara, Asrei Damar, in his place they call it this, his place they call that. What defines a place? A hamlet, a neighborhood, a community, a city, a borough, a county, a state, There's different municipalities when it comes to governing bodies. If you look, there's different, it depends on the amount of people, it depends on, generally a hamlet's very small, a town is a neighborhood's a little bigger, a town after that, then maybe a borough, and then maybe a city, and then a county. A county is the bigger, it has numerous cities in it, usually a county, and then a state. So I would say like this, I would say the Gemara is saying over here that even though rove of the people, right, let's say 80% of the people in Telstone, they use canola oil and not olive oil. But we go by the state. And you can't, I think the halacha, you have to go, when you're assessing a place, you go by the country or the state, right? Israel is a state, it's a country. I'd say America is called the United States of America. Each state would be divided independently, I think, over there. In Israel, I think that um, it's just one state. So this is one state. By that country, you go by that country. So therefore, as long as right, there's no rove over there. It's a suffix, right? Even a chazaka, right, tells me it's not a suffix. Chazaka is 75%. So therefore, if it's less than 75%, 70%, right? 70% of people in Israel use canola oil to cook, and 30% use olive oil. So then both are also. That falls into the rubric of suffix. So it does not mean 50-50. It can be up to 70. Once you have 75%, that's a chazaka, that's an assumption. It's no longer, and by Yisurim, we rely on a chazaka. We rely on a chazaka tells me, right, you can rely, Eirecha neman b'Yisurim, right? You rely on a chazaka for kashrus and foods. You rely on a chazaka. However, we don't even fall, and when it comes to the city, if that's what the Gemara is saying, it's a makom, it's a place, right? The Rove in Telstone, in this neighborhood, I would call it a neighborhood or a small town here. Rove people over here, 80% of the people use canola oil, not olive oil. But since in the state, Israel, they use 70-30%, so then every place gets factored in by the state, by the country. And that's what I like to assume over here. That's the way I would learn the dinim of Rove. You don't go based on that place. You go by, it has to be a bigger constituency. It has to be a state, a certain country. That's considered a different place, right? That country is in a different place. I'm not sure if the United States you go after the whole country, or each state would be individual, but I would say generally you go by the country. That's what I like to say over here. Hope you enjoyed tonight's share. See you in the next one.